She invited her ex to her birthday and kissed him in front of everyone. So before midnight I gifted her divorce papers. Months later she returned begging, but my new wife gave her a cold smile and threw her out. Hey everyone, before we begin, I really need your support. My goal is to reach 2,000 subscribers, and I can only do it with your help. If you enjoy these stories, please take a moment to subscribe. Your support truly means the world to me. Now, let's get into today's story. My name is Ethan. I am 26, and I live in Virginia. When I married Sarah, who was 23, I truly believed she was the woman I would spend the rest of my life with. I had built my dreams around her, pictured a family with her, and worked hard every single day thinking that everything I did was for us. I never thought she would betray me. On her birthday, I wanted to celebrate her in a way that felt personal. She always told me not to waste money on fancy gifts, so I tried to respect that. I went to the party carrying just my wallet, planning to surprise her with a simple gesture and a heartfelt moment. I thought love was about the heart, not the price tag. But when I walked into that room, my heart sank. Among the guests, standing with a drink in his hand, was Daniel, Sarah's ex-boyfriend, 24, still living nearby. My smile faded the second I saw him. I could not understand why he was there. My mind raced with questions. Had she invited him without thinking? Was she trying to prove that she was over him? Or was there something deeper behind his presence? I tried to keep calm, but the truth revealed itself quickly. In front of everyone, Sarah walked up to Daniel, laughed at something he said, and then leaned in and kissed him on the cheek. The room went silent for a moment before exploding into whispers. I could feel eyes on me, some filled with pity, others with amusement. I could almost hear their thoughts. What a fool Ethan must feel like right now. My face burned, my chest ached, and for a second I could not breathe. I did not create a scene. I did not confront Sarah or Daniel. Instead, I turned and walked out. I left that party with my heart in pieces, but my pride still intact. That night, I sat alone at my desk. My hands trembled as I typed, but my mind was crystal clear. I drafted divorce papers. Every line felt like a nail in the coffin of the marriage I had believed in, but it was also a step toward freedom. Before midnight, I returned to the party. Sarah smiled when she saw me walk in. She thought I had come back to make up, to hand her a gift, to pretend nothing had happened. Instead, I handed her an envelope. She opened it, and her face changed from joy to shock in an instant. The laughter around us faded as people realized what was happening. I looked directly into her eyes and said, "Happy birthday, Sarah. Consider this my gift to you." Then I walked away, leaving her frozen in silence. The months after the divorce were hard. I felt like a man who had lost his foundation. Nights were long, and the memories hurt. But with each passing day, I grew stronger. I focused on my work, on my health, and on rebuilding the pieces of myself that had been shattered. Slowly, the pain turned into strength. And then, life surprised me. I met someone new. She was not like Sarah. She did not play games, she did not compare me to others, and she did not belittle the things I could offer. She respected me, valued me, and loved me for who I was. With her, I felt peace. With her, I felt safe. Love with her was simple and honest, the way love should be. In time, I married her. For the first time, I felt like I had finally found the partner meant for me. But life has a way of bringing the past to your door. One afternoon, I heard a knock. When I opened it, I saw Sarah standing there. She looked nothing like the confident woman who once believed she could humiliate me. Her hair was messy, her eyes were red from crying, and her voice trembled as she spoke. She begged me to take her back. She said inviting Daniel had been a mistake, that she had not thought it through, that she did not mean to lose me. She said she missed me, that no one else loved her the way I did, that she wanted another chance. For a moment, I stood silent, remembering everything I had felt that night, remembering the humiliation, the pain, and the coldness of watching the woman I loved throw it all away. I felt nothing for her now. Not anger, not love, not even hate. Just nothing. Before I could even answer, my new wife stepped beside me. She was calm, strong, and unshaken. She held a glass of shake in her hand, took a sip, and then looked Sarah in the eye. With a small cold smile, she said, "You are not welcome here." Then she opened the door wider, making it clear that Sarah had to leave. Sarah's face fell apart. Tears streamed down her cheeks as she tried to find the words to argue. But she could see in my eyes that there was no way back. She turned slowly, her shoulders low, and walked away into the street, disappearing from my life forever. I closed the door behind her. I looked at my new wife, the woman who stood by me without fear, and I realized something important. Sometimes life breaks you, but only so that you can rebuild yourself stronger. I had lost Sarah, but in truth, losing her was the best thing that ever happened to me. Because by walking away from someone who could never respect me, I found a woman who truly could. And that was the real gift life gave me. Not revenge, not vindication, but peace. When I closed the door that day, there was a silence in the house that felt heavy but strangely peaceful. My new wife placed her hand on my shoulder, looked into my eyes, and said softly, "You owe her nothing, Ethan. You already gave her more chances than she ever deserved." Her words wrapped around me like a warm blanket, and for the first time in a long time, I felt truly free. That evening, as we sat together on the couch, I could not help but think about the contrast between the two women in my life. Sarah had once been the center of my universe, but she had chosen to burn everything we built for a moment of attention from her ex. My new wife, on the other hand, did not need to prove anything. She stood firm beside me, not because of what I could offer her materially, but because she valued the man I was inside. Weeks passed, and word spread around town that Sarah had tried to come back. Some friends reached out, asking me if it was true, if she had really been on her knees begging for another chance. I confirmed it quietly, without anger or pride, just calm truth. People shook their heads. Some said she got what she deserved. Others said it was a lesson she would never forget. And deep down, I knew it was a lesson for me too. One evening, while walking with my new wife along the quiet streets of Virginia, she looked at me and asked, "Do you ever regret it? Do you ever wonder what life would be like if you had forgiven her that night?" I stopped walking, looked into her eyes, and smiled. "No," I said firmly, "because if I had forgiven Sarah, I would have never found you. And finding you showed me what real love actually feels like." She smiled back, squeezed my hand, and at that moment I knew my heart was exactly where it was meant to be. But Sarah was not done with her attempts. A few months later, I received a letter. It was from her, handwritten, full of words of regret and apologies. She wrote that she could not sleep at night, that she replayed that birthday party over and over in her head, that she realized too late what she had lost. She said she saw me with my new wife once at the grocery store, and the way I looked at her was the way she had always wanted me to look at her, except she had destroyed that chance herself. I read the letter slowly, then folded it back into the envelope. My new wife noticed my silence and asked what it was. I handed it to her, and she read it with calm eyes. When she finished, she placed it back on the table and said, "She's still trying to live in a story that ended a long time ago, but you've already moved on. Don't let her pull you back into it." Her voice was steady, her confidence unshakable, and in that moment I realized I did not feel even a trace of the old pain anymore. Sarah was my past. My new wife was my present and my future, and that was where my loyalty belonged. The final time I saw Sarah was by accident. I was driving through town and spotted her standing outside a small coffee shop. She looked tired, like life had weighed heavily on her shoulders. Our eyes met briefly through the glass. For a second, she looked like she wanted to run toward me, to say something, to try one more time, but she didn't. She looked at the ground instead, and I drove away without stopping. That was the silent goodbye we both needed. Back at home, my new wife and I sat together, laughing over something simple, a movie, a joke, a shared memory. And I realized that the life I had now was worth every tear, every broken moment, and every painful night I endured in the past. Because without those wounds, I would never have found the woman who healed them. In the end, Sarah became just a chapter in my life. One that taught me the importance of respect, loyalty, and knowing when to walk away. And my new wife became the chapter one always wanted. The one filled with peace, love, and a future built on trust.